Hey, how cool would it be to implement 3 simple, cost-effective strategies into your business that will have massive impact? And when I mean cost-effective, I mean almost free. Almost free. Hey, welcome to JTInTheRaw, show 106, coming to you 4 hours late. 4 hours late, coming to you. Welcome, Eugene. G'day, Liz. G'day, Ryan J over there in the long white cloud country, New Zealand. G'day, William. Yeah, I flew back from Japan this morning, got the red eye home, and you'll hear some funny kind of noise in the background because I have just come up to watch Zoe play soccer, and she had no idea. So what a cool thing to celebrate you or surprise your little girl when she's playing soccer for the school today. She had no idea. So, welcome to JTInTheRaw. This is where I chew the thin on business, and after 30 years in business, I just got a few thins that I can chew. I want to encourage you to enjoy the conversation. I want you to join in the comments and tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're pursuing, tell me what you think of these 3 things that I learned this week while I was in Japan. So a couple of shout outs. Obviously I want to shout out, a massive shout out to Ursa for giving me the opportunity to head over to Japan with my colleagues, Chris Stevenson and Paul Bedford. The 3 of us went over there we were there for the very first time, and we spoke at their conference. It was a sensational conference. Tokyo I'd never been to, so it was a great city to go to, but a really interesting conference, and interesting to see where the fitness industry is in Japan. They only have about 3.4% of the population that exercise on a regular basis, which is not many, and they've got about 3,500 clubs. So it's massive number of clubs, but not a huge penetration. G'day Amber, g'day Sean. Sean, how's fatherhood going, mate? Are you getting much sleep over there at the moment? So while we were there were 3 things that really stood out for us as tourists, but also consumers of Japanese products and the Japanese society. And the first one was the cleanliness. It was fascinating to just see how clean everything is. I think we live in a beautiful country, Australia. I think Australia is super clean. But what I found amazing was how pristine clean everything was, from the toilets to the railway stations to the shopping centres to the gyms. They were spotless and super, super impressive. I got a whole bunch of kids. Hang on, I'll turn this around.
I'm Zoe and I'm his daughter.
See, this is raw and it's authentic. This is action. Can you go away? I've got to do this. Go back and play soccer, kids.
Hi!
Here we go. See, it's raw and it's authentic at the soccer ground watching the year 4 kids play soccer today. So just going back to what I was saying, just everything where we went was just clean. Just clean. And as I say, I think we live in a very clean society. I think where we have an incredibly clean place, but it's nothing like the Japanese. And it had a massive impact on us as spectators, spectators to the Japanese culture and the Japanese community and the Japanese society. It had a massive impact. The 3 of us all commented how clean everything was. So that was number 1. Now, I don't think cleaning costs you a lot of money in your business to make sure it is pristine. And be rest assured, I'm pretty bad at clean. So that was number 1. G'day, Marissa. How are you? I couldn't hear that audio either on Paul's Facebook feed. Okay, number two was the Japanese were amazingly polite. Just incredible. Now, I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting impolite people. I've been to China, I've been to Thailand, so I've been to other Asian countries. And I can't tell you what I was expecting, but it completely blew me away how welcoming, how happy, and how contented the Japanese people were in their way of life, and how they wanted to share that with people that they knew or didn't know. Hi Fiona, how are you down there? I'm catching up with you. Is it next week or the week after? When are we catching up? But I know it's soon. So the Japanese people were incredibly polite. They smiled. Remember I did a show a couple of weeks ago where I talked about the book Captivate in those first 5 seconds. I think it was show 103. If you missed that show, put 103 in the comments and I'll send you the link. And I talked about how important the first 5 seconds were to create a connection with somebody. But the Japanese, they connect ongoing. They are amazing. G'day, Chris. How are you? Good to catch you on board, mate. Hi, Susan. Lunchtime down there in Victoria. The politeness was overwhelming. It was almost embarrassing how polite they were. When we were at dinner, they were polite. Wherever we were, they were polite. And it costs nothing to smile and to engage with people. I realised, as did Chris, as did Paul, we realised how small being polite actually is, but what massive impact it has on us. A smiling face, a good morning, a hello to the customer, or even people just walking past. Incredible. Getting onto the trains, packed, but people were still polite. What's going on there? It was phenomenal. So that was my second one. The Japanese polite, and I think we can learn a lot from that in our businesses and how we run, perhaps even our society. The third one is not going to surprise you, this one, and that is everything in Japan is on time. Everything is on time. It is incredible. The trains run to a strict schedule. The conference we're at, we started right on the hour. It's like quite incredible how everything operates so clockwork-wise in relation to time. And to me, that's very respectful. It's respectful of the people they're meeting with time, the consumer's time. And I think often in Western society, or other places around the world, I guess it doesn't even have to be Western society, we take for granted other people and we take for granted their time. The Japanese take nothing for granted. They're incredibly respectful, hence the politeness, but that rolls through to being on time. Everything is on time. And I just wonder, in a culture in your business, is there that culture of being on time? What time do your meetings start? Like if a meeting is targeted or agendaed down to start, is that even a word? Agendaed to start at 10 a.m. Does it start at 10 a.m. or is it 5 past or is it 10 past 10 that you finally get going? In Japan, if it's a meeting that starts at 10, people are there at 5 to 10 ready to start at 10 o'clock. If you like the idea of that, give me a love heart. Give me a love heart if you like the idea of being respectful of people's time and doing everything on time. It was an incredible experience. If you haven't been to Japan, I would highly recommend heading over there. It's a really wonderful society. As I said, it's clean, it's polite, and everything's on time. That's just a few of the things that was great there. If you're in the fitness industry, keep an eye out on the Active Management Facebook feed. I'll be putting up some photos from the trade show, and I'll also be blogging some insights that I picked up from the Japanese fitness industry and what I learnt while I was over there. So just keep your eyes peeled for that over the next week or so. What's coming up for me? Next week I was supposed to be in New Zealand, but I'm actually now going to be hanging out back in Sydney. We've put our round table meeting back in New Zealand 3 weeks, because Lisa is launching Tribe Team Training next week. So congratulations, Lisa, on launching Tribe Team Training. It's a brand new season, so that's why they're launching then. And so we had to push the meeting back. So if you're from New Zealand and you are interested in joining the Industry Leaders Roundtable, please just put ILR in the comments and I will send you a link to connect with me and we can talk about getting started in the New Zealand Industry Leaders Roundtable. Next Friday, I'm catching up with Fiona Magro, who was just online. So you can do coffee with me if you're in Sydney. Next Friday, coffee with me at Parramatta. I think I got 1, maybe 2 spots left next week. So if you want to jump in and book a spot there, just put coffee in the comments below and I will send you the link to grab a coffee with me in Sydney or in Melbourne even the following week. That's about it for JTInTheRaw this week. Coming to you live. Look, you can just come out here again. This is where I am. All the kids cartwheeling. That's Sophie. I don't know where Zoe's gone, but she's somewhere around getting ready to play. Hey, Ileana, how are you? So I always like to finish JTInTheRaw with a quote. And the quote of the week is this: never underestimate the power the impact of being clean, being polite, and being on time in your business. Never underestimate the impact and the power of being clean, being polite, and being on time in your business. Hey, thanks for tuning in to JTInTheRaw. If you loved it, give me a love heart right now. Pretty basic, pretty simple, but let's see if we can get that into the DNA and the culture of our businesses, and we will be highly successful. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next Friday at 8 a.m. Back to the normal times next week. Been great having you on board in the middle of the day. I'll catch you on the flip side.